ही है, रोज स्नीकर्स पहनना है सिर्फ ऐसे ही
yes.
चार लोग बात
Sneakers, yeah,
क्या सेंस बनता है इस बात का? You tell me, does it make any sense? The cool person never knows he's cool. Okay, that's why he's cool.
Okay.
If you act cool, you're not cool. It has to come naturally. Because if you're acting to like I'm acting cool, so I'm acting, no, I'm not cool. मेरे ऊपर वो प्रेशर रहेगा. You talk stupid in front of camera for what? That people see. I mean, you must have seen most of the viral videos or most of the talk about videos are either about abusing language or about making fun of someone's sexuality or making some fun of something.
Sure.
They do it intentionally because they know कि उनके core content में कोई दम ही नहीं है. So what's the best way to get some highlights or get some attention? गाली दो या गंदी बात या कुछ अतरंगी बोल दो या कुछ जब कूल बनने के लिए कुछ फटा पहन लो, पुराना पहन लो. क्यों पहन लो? कपड़े क्यों बने हैं? कपड़े इसलिए बने हैं ना कि आप सही जगह पे सही कपड़े पहन करके खूबसूरत दिखो. तो करो, कितना मुश्किल है.
Welcome to my podcast, Bharat Charcha. Today we have a person who has an illustrious career and has done many renowned shows. He's known for his articulate work as a fashion designer and slightly known for his controversial comments. But don't we all like a little bit of controversy? Let me introduce you today, Ashfaque Ahmad. He talks about his designs, his modern creativity with traditional blends seamlessly. I would want to hear Ashwak's journey right from him. He's a renowned Indian celebrity fashion designer known for his intrigue and exquisite designs. He's already marked his name in fashion industry, and here we have Ashwak. Look at like that. He's also made his name in fashion industry, wherein he's participated in Delhi Fashion Times Week, and there are certain other projects that he's worked with, which is Indian Style Fest, Karnataka Fashion League, and he's been featured notably at Yama Fiasco Miss Diva Universe. So we want to hear about Ashwak's journey right from him.
Thanks a lot for such an amazing introduction, and I feel very nice and proud to be a part of your podcast. Thanks for having me.
It's a complete pleasure to have you.
Yeah, I mean, the pleasure is all mine.
So since you are in fashion industry for a long time and you've dealt with celebrities, now I think probably you're getting into influencing marketing as well. So I want to know that how your journey so far has been.
The journey so far has been really good, and yes, I've done a couple of nice, interesting things. I've been doing a couple of fashion weeks and beauty pageants and everything. And like you mentioned about and getting into the influencer market, it's not much of a choice. It's like these are techniques of a marketing, and any brand they do whatever like they can in terms to market their product.
Right.
Like initially it was print ads or
correct
billboard or a TV commercial or whatsoever. So
right.
Nowadays the biggest market I would say is like the social media marketing, and
sure.
then influencers are the king and queen of it. So ultimately, I mean, if you want to survive here, you have to some way or the other have to promote your brand in terms of through social media platform. So
interesting that you are giving it to the influencers in a way where you see them as a tool wherein considering that they are kings and queens who dominate the market of social media. That's a kind perspective, I would say. But another side of it is that how difficult it is to work with a celebrity than working with an influencer when it comes to your huge shows that you organize.
Look, working with both of them is difficult. I mean, they both have their own challenges. When you're working with certain celebrity, so what happens is like my brand has certain aesthetics or whatever in terms of my creativity, and I would always like to endorse, or I would always like to showcase my garments in the best way I have visualized it. But then when you're dealing or when you're working with a certain celeb, the celeb also has her opinion or her way of presenting herself in front of the media, and especially when it's a fashion show or when it's a certain event or something, there is a huge media coverage. So I mean, they don't want to compromise on their looks. They want to present themselves in a certain way. So yes, creativity की एक problem आती है, but then somewhere I mean we choose at least we try and choose celebrity who we like to be associated with. Not every time we have a choice, because sometimes we go get those celebrities through brands or
No,
certain.
why do you say that we don't have a choice? Because it's your show. You want to decide who.
Because sometimes we do a lot of sponsored shows where, let's say, if I'm doing a show in collaboration with a certain property, like a real estate property, or I'm doing with, let's say, a certain jeweler or a jewelry brand, or maybe it's a brand launch for a certain, it can be anything, like a
Right.
soft drink or whatever.
Yeah.
So sometimes they pick up the showstopper, what we
Yeah,
call,
yeah.
and the celebrity.
Okay.
So we don't have much choices there. And then, of course, you have to respect the fact that you're getting paid for it.
Okay.
So we.
I was not aware of it, that even they have a choice to pick, and that's how it comes to you sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, of course, sometimes they hire a designer to for a. I'm talking about the corporate show or the commercial shows. I'm not talking about the fashion week.
Right,
Fashion
right.
week, yes, of course, we do have a choice.
Yeah.
But when we are working with a couple of other corporate houses, so they hire the celeb as per their whatever policy or maybe budget or whatever.
Correct. Yeah, I think the budget mainly comes.
Yeah, I
in.
mean, of course, money is a part of any business. I mean, you can't deny the fact that money plays the most crucial role.
That's true.
So, yeah.
So, out of all the numerous high-profile shows that you have done, which has so far been the most memorable for you?
Look, in some way or the other, all of them. But then, yes, doing my first time show, I would say, because that was my first serious show, I would say.
Which year was this?
I think it was in 2016. Yeah,
Okay.
2016. It was the Delhi Times Fashion Week.
Hmm.
So, being surrounded with the right kind of people and setup and that kind of professionalism of a
Correct.
fashion week, that's always helpful, because then there you have the professional team of choreographer and the backstage help and the right kind of models and the right kind of production help, everything. So it
The
becomes
right kind, as in, like, how do you feel that time was right, and now
right kind, I would say, as in, like, first, the most important is like the professional and let's say the best in the field. So I mean, you get a lot of advantage because they know a lot about the whole thing. So dealing with them becomes really easy. So let's say if I want a certain kind of music, so all I have to do is just suggest a bit to the choreographer or the guy who's providing the music for the show, and then they will show you 10, 15, 20 options, and you can take the best for you. Same is the case with the choreographer, or same is the case with if you're dealing with a professional model who has been working for last 10 years, 12 years. So the way they walk and the way they take care of the garment, I mean, you can't expect that from a new model or anyone who is not that good at her job, let's say,
who's
or
not been there for
yeah.
that years.
So I mean, it comes naturally to them.
Sure.
I'm not saying that the new people can't be good. Of course, they are good. But there are few things which you learn only from time. Like you have to do your part. Like if you're working for 5 years, 10 years. So it comes naturally to them. They're always on time. You just have to tell them a bit, just brief them about a bit. This is how you want you to walk. And they just deliver it. It comes very smoothly. So of course, all you have to do is just focus on the clothes. Rest, everything has been taken care of by the whole team. So
yeah, I know, as a layman, when you look at the show, when you see the ramp set, when you know a showstopper is coming, other models are coming, I'm sure they're not able to visualize the kind of effort that goes back in, to create the entire set. And for a designer also, it could be very challenging, because every design that you create for a specific model has to be...
Look, to be really honest, and allow me to say, it's kind of little unfair that the designer gets all the credit for the show.
Okay.
It's the whole teamwork. Everyone is responsible for it, right from the right kind of makeup, right from the right kind of choreography, right from the right selection of the models, to the music. Because what you see is the final product. And my part was only the clothing part. But somehow, which is good for me, that we get all the credits. Okay, it's a Ashfaque show, it's a Ashfaque show, it's a Ashfaque show. It's not
But you are the creator.
Creator in terms of clothes. Rest, everything, there's the whole team. Like I said, like, yes, I mean, we get the maximum credit, but everyone is responsible for it. I mean, if you ask a good choreographer, he or she is serious about her work, I'm sure all of them are.
Yeah.
So they also put in a lot of effort. They treat that show as their own show,
I'm
but
sure.
somehow they don't get that much credit. Models, of course, nobody even talks about them. But then they also put in a lot of effort. They are on time. They have to sit in front of the light for 4 hours, 6 hours.
That's true.
I mean, they have to do the rehearsals. They have to be just perfect on the ramp for that 1 minute. No matter what ever happening in her personal life or whatever happening in
I think you're right. Yeah.
she has to look her best. But I mean, nobody talks about it. Like everybody's talk about, oh wow, very nice collection. There's that.
Correct.
Yes, of course, yes. I've put in the maximum effort because I've been creating the whole collection for last maybe 1 month, 2 months. But then this is not just my show; it's everybody's show. Yes, I mean, I kind of have the major contribution to it.
Yeah.
But then it's totally unfair to say that it's just my show. It's everybody's show. Everybody's. I mean, even the guy who has just put the right kind of lights, the light designer. Wow. Half the people, they don't even know that there's something called a light designer on the set.
Yeah.
So put the right lights for the show too.
Correct.
And if you see the show, it's divided into. There's a story in it.
Various
You know,
aspects,
the music plays a very important role. The
Yeah.
model placement on the stage,
Absolutely.
her entry, her exit. So what you see is just the final 7-8 minutes. But to create that 7-8 minutes, everyone is responsible, not just me. My job is done before the show only. Like during a show, I don't do anything. My job is just to create the clothes. Rest, it's all models, choreographer, and
Yeah,
the light person and the music person.
Yeah.
But somehow, unfortunately, they don't really get the right kind of credit.
No,
But
you're right. It also reminds me. I mean, I was just contemplating while I was
Mhm.
listening to you. So I'll not name the model. She's a very popular one. In fact, I met her at Lakme Fashion
Okay.
Week, and she was telling about. In fact, there is a pay disparity also, and she
Mhm.
said, after being the top model of this country, there are days when I really have to wait for my check also to follow up. And there are days when I know that I've put out my best, but maybe I'm not recognized for that particular walk, or maybe I'm not recognized for that particular stunt, but it's always maybe the creation that I'm wearing most of the times. So it was just a candid 2-minute conversation,
I know.
and I got a perspective from her, and I, maybe I thought that, yeah, you're right about it. Sometimes they're not given their due.
look, sometimes during the show, it might come as a thankless job.
Yeah.
But then
That was the correct word that she
in
used,
due time, they get their share of attention. They get their share of stardom.
Yeah.
It might take some time, but if you're good and if you have really done your job right and you have been doing your job right, you get your share of respect, you get your share of credit, you get your share of stardom, everything.
That's your
It
thought.
might take a little bit extra, and like everybody talks about the Bollywood and the showstoppers, the random showstoppers and everything.
The
But-
random showstopper.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really.
Why do we always have, why do we always have celebrities as showstoppers? I'm unable to figure that out. I mean, models, the way they walk, they're meant for a ramp, and they've practiced so much of hard work and dedication that they've already put in. So why do we always choose a celebrity to?
That's a marketing game because the showstoppers, so called, or the celebrity or the Bollywood divas, they get a lot of visibility. So if you
Yeah.
see, like, you being aware of the social media marketing, let's say an XYZ actress who has a um, follower of, let's say, 30 million or
Yeah.
20 million. So when she posts a picture or when she's tagged, so most of the big shows, they are sponsored shows. Sponsored show as in, like, in terms of there are a lot of brand associations and there are logos in the back and everything.
Yeah.
And the people who are a part of those brands, that their creative head or the marketing head, they don't really care much about the creativity part because I mean they're not wrong, but then they're not really the creative people. They're
The
the
revenue
marketing.
comes in.
Yeah, they are the marketing people. So how they calculate is like per views or how many views and how many.
This has come
Business-
so much in play. Every now and then I hear.
Look, to be really honest, whenever money comes into picture, creativity somehow takes a backseat, or somehow the creative will be affected.
I agree. Yeah.
So, and money is involved. If you're doing a show, if you're producing a show or a fashion show
true.
or anything, money is involved. You can't
I
deny
think
the
what
fact.
you've said is absolutely correct.
Yeah,
And,
so you
there's
can't
no
deny the
iota
fact.
of doubt of it.
And it takes huge amount of money to create a collection and to have the right kind of people hired for the job.
Yeah.
So everybody wants ROI, like return on investment and all. So
Correct.
being the or hiring the showstopper, someone from Bollywood, it's nothing personal. It's just a publicity stunt, or not. I won't even say publicity stunt. It's just a marketing job.
So that plays a very important role. You think that works for all the designers?
It does, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, otherwise, there are only very few hardcore fashion students, I would say, or people who are little aware of the fashion in general.
Okay.
And they keep a track of the whole fashion week and this and that. It's only because of those Bollywood celebs
Really?
that it gets viral, or everybody is watching it and there are memes coming out of it. So yes, it gets you visibility. Right or wrong, that's a different debate. But definitely they get you the right
The visibility
the
part is
visibility
definitely-
part. Right
it's
or wrong
huge.
is something else.
Yeah.
So yeah. And yes, if you get a Bollywood celebrity who is really good at walking, that's a bonus. But most of the time, it doesn't really work that way.
Yeah. And do you think they're able to do that kind of justice? You just answered it, but sometimes maybe you've seen the models walking the ramp.
The models,
Do
I
you
mean,
think that there is a little bit of unfairness, or do you think they meet?
but that's
that kind of
everywhere.
degree of-
That's just unfair or something like that. It's in every field. It's
One of
just,
the actors herself was saying that we know the way models walk, we know the kind of hard work they put in for that particular walk with high heels, and they have to just fit into that ramp. We know that we are sometimes unable to. So
because we as a nation are Bollywood influenced, so it's not really their fault. We can't blame the actresses.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not doing it on gunpoint or whatever. Like, they're getting paid for it. They have been hired by the companies and all. And it's really sweet of whosoever made that statement that they feel for the model been working. Yes, I mean, it's their job, the models, showcasing the garment in the right way. But then hiring a Bollywood celebrity is just hardcore marketing. It's a marketing tool. It's a marketing way. That's it. Nobody's really responsible for it. And yes, sometimes, because of that, I mean, the model might feel little uh, hurt or something. But I'm thinking they're pretty used to it because they know they are great at their job.
Right.
And they're doing their part. Everybody's one is. I mean, if you see like the market, the makeup people, those who do
The makeup
the makeup,
artists
and
and all, yeah.
nobody even talks about it, and they put in a lot of effort. But then that's how the world works. There are people who get the maximum credit. There are people who get the less credit. I mean, if you will see the models, they're walking the ramp. They are the face of the brand.
Yeah.
I can't walk on the ramp. Sometimes if they do any mistake,
Yeah.
then they have not done the mistake. It's the brand who has done the mistake. So I have to pay for it. Like, my show was not good. So it's basically, sometimes you get more credit without doing much,
Yeah.
and sometimes you get less credit even if you put in the best. So that's how the
So
whole
it's about the luck also, and it's about
everything.
what stream you're handling.
Everything. I mean, especially in a glamour field,
Of course,
sometimes
I've
you have
seen
not
that.
put in that much effort, but you get a good credit out of it.
Yeah.
So
Could be anything. Could be a marketing strategy.
so it's
as
just
well.
it's
You're a celeb.
luck. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah.
sometimes things get so-called viral in new terms. Then it was not expected that this thing might work so well, but it did. So it's just luck.
So, you have showcased many prestigious events also, such as Karnataka Fashion Week, Asia Design Couture Week 2021. Now that when you prepare yourself for these high pressure shows, so what is the sentiment like?
Look, to be really honest, the first thing, I mean, not many designers will say that. The first thing in my mind is always business. That this collection, if I would be able to sell it or not, if it's wearable, if it's the pricings are good, the costing is correct.
Correct.
Then comes the other part in terms of if I'm showcasing the spring summer, if I'm showcasing the autumn winter. In India, more than spring summer, autumn winter is the wedding season. India is just ruled by wedding season.
Correct. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Whosoever talks anything else, that's just bullshit.
Yeah.
Indian, the whole industry is based on wedding.
The whole
That's it.
story revolves
Yeah,
around
you
that.
look at any top designers, all they do is what? Wedding lehengas.
That's true.
That's how they're famous.
Yeah.
Okay, she's a Sabya bride, she's a Manish bride, and all. So
Yeah.
nobody talks about anything else.
Right.
And
So they're basically driven with only the weddings around, and that's how the collection is mostly taught.
that's where the money comes from.
Yeah.
Who else will wear a rupees 5 lakh outfit on a normal day?
That's true.
It's only the wedding day that people in India spend the maximum money.
That's true. Correct.
And if you look at the price tag of any top designers and the wedding lehengas or the mehndi outfit or the cocktail outfit,
Yeah.
they are in a
Everything is high priced.
exactly.
No doubt, yeah.
So that's only the wedding. Maybe once in a while for their birthday or something like that, they might anniversary or something. Again, then anniversary again is somehow related to wedding. That they host a big party. It's my first anniversary or the 5th or
Yeah,
25th,
that's-
whatever.
Yeah.
But Indian fashion industry, in terms of designers and in terms of the clothing brands, it's only marriage driven, nothing else.
Nothing else. No, that was
Whosoever talks anything
very
else,
candid, yeah.
whosoever talks anything else just wants to sound fancy, and all the designers claiming my inspiration is underwater in the ruins of Paris and
Yeah, there are
Morocco.
themes now, I see.
That's bullshit. That's all crap. Okay, they just create a nice story to sound very fancy and to sound very elite. Ultimately, our motivation, or for any businessman, the motivation is always money.
Correct.
Money, maybe not directly. I mean, I will only be able to make money if I'm selling the clothes. So the cloth has to be nice.
Right.
So to make the nice clothes, I have to do my part of study in terms of the new colors in the market,
Right.
on the
You have to
trend.
keep up with the fashion
But
trends.
the core factor will always be money. You can't deny the fact. And also, creativity always, like let's say, I would say the creativity is only successful when it's selling at a good price.
Right.
So the factor is again money. MF Hussain is only MF Hussain
Right.
because his paintings and whatever is selling for 5 CR or 10 CR or 15 CR. So you judging someone on the basis of money, right? A Sabya is Sabya
Yeah.
because people are ready to spend 10 lakhs on a Sabya lehenga or a XYZ amount on a Manish Malhotra lehenga. And all. So money, of course, plays a very important role. Then comes, the color story and the stitching quality is nice and it's very niche and it's very elegant and all. Of course, that's the reason the people are buying it. So you can't deny the fact that people are very smart.
Yeah, but maybe for some designers there can be a storyline behind it. Maybe
Of course,
they
yes.
have a memory which they want to portray. Maybe they have something which is very close to them, and that's how they feel we want to bring it to the ramp. Do you think that can also be?
Yes, in their own mind,
Sometimes,
yes. In their own mind, yes. But a layman doesn't understand all this.
Yeah.
And the real buyers,
Yeah.
those who are our typical Punjabi aunties and the Bania aunties,
Yeah,
they don't care about my
That's
inspiration. They don't care about my
of course.
background story. And
It's about what they see.
yeah, for
And
them,
then
it's
it
very
looks good on
simple.
I want to know that in Delhi Times Fashion Week, your Shadi Inspo was quite a hit. And now that you've spoken that mostly, it's about Shadi collection. People want to come and see what they can wear during their weddings and functions that they can cater to designers. I want to know, how do you decide, okay, that this particular segment of clothes would sell for this season? How does that work with designers?
Look, the color forecast is always there, and there is just in general a talk in the market that okay, this color is pretty.
Yeah, so how does that talk evolve?
There is no-
this is very intriguing,
Look, the real market is the international market, especially for a gown.
Okay.
Like I said, like people talk in India a lot about inspiration and color story and all. In India, nothing works. What I'm trying to say, nothing works is Indian market, the wedding market is only the hugest market.
Right,
There's no such kind of wedding anywhere in the world.
right, that's true.
And the
Yeah.
maximum money in terms of the designers come from wedding. So that's always there in our mind. Like let's say if I'm making a lehenga, I have to make a certain color. A lehenga can't be a black, right?
That's
So
true,
yeah, there's nothing called a black lehenga, right?
No, of course.
So, but then Indian designers will never accept it on a camera.
No, but you know, there has been
Yeah.
a shift. Like people used to wear only red, cherry red,
That's-
red, maroon. And now brides are going on a subtle version of lehenga.
The reason is very simple, it's just the generational change. That okay, those colors are done to death, the typical red and
Why?
blue.
But a person like me still loves red.
Because nowadays kids and young girls are experimenting with everything, not just the wedding look. They're experimenting with the whole wedding also. Somebody they wants a fun wedding, sometimes they want
Right.
a theme wedding.
Yeah.
So clothes is just a part of wedding. So,
So you think the generation has
they're just experimenting with everything.
Mm.
They're experimenting with the whole wedding only. So designing your clothes or lehenga is just one part of it. If you
Just
see,
as industry is getting transformative, similarly you feel there is a shift in a generation change and
yeah,
mindsets
of
of
course.
people.
That's the actual reason. Like girls are more confident now. Okay, initially 20 years back, it was very traditional. मम्मी ने और सास ने डिसाइड किया कि ये पहनना है या मम्मी की साड़ी या 30 साल पहले दादी ने पहनी थी and all that. Now the girls are more confident, they are financially independent and lot many other factors. So
No,
now,
but the heritage look is still there. Like if you see Kareena Kapoor, she was wearing her mother-in-law's lehenga or sari. But as much I read on the article, so she was wearing her outfit, and she said maybe we could just add a few things, and then could give a heritage.
that's why I'm
look
saying it's a
also.
personal choice. And look, and those who are kind of experimenting with the color and the silhouette and the whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's very limited percentage. If you'll still see, it's still the maroon and the red family, which is maximum there. ठीक है, थोड़े लोग हैं.
Okay, there are people still stiff about it that we want.
Look,
red cherry.
nothing can beat a nice, authentic Indian look on your wedding
That's
day.
true.
My point is,
Yeah.
क्यों बेवजह जबरदस्ती cool बनने के लिए experiment कर रहे हो?
So it's
And
basically the
more-
cool mentality.
Yeah, it's just जबरदस्ती push करना है
Just
अपने आप
because
को.
it has a
Yeah,
trend
just-
thing, so somebody started it, so let's try. Because
Look-
so-called celebrity has started, so
एक
let's
बस यही है, रोज स्नीकर्स पहनना है, सिर्फ ऐसे
Oh,
ही
no,
चार
yes.
की चार लोग बात
Sneakers, yeah, like-
क्या सेंस बनता है इस बात का? You tell me, does it make any sense? You wearing sneakers just
Well, personally, if you're asking me,
Yeah.
I will never.
yeah.
I'll never wear
If
sneakers.
somebody asks for my opinion, I will also say no. Like for me, it's very simple, bro. Look, what's the
A
base?
wedding has to look like a wedding,
Look,
an attire has to look like an attire.
Look, what's the whole base of fashion and clothing is a very simple thing. What you wearing, where you wearing. That's the most important thing in clothing, right?
Right.
If you're wearing a bikini on a beach side, there's nothing wrong in it. If you're wearing a kaftan or a resort wear on a resort, there's no issue with it. If you're wearing a nice black dress for a dinner or a whatever.
True.
So when it comes to clothing, if you stick to the most signature things or to the most traditional thing, you can never go wrong. So when you try experimental thing, like you try put that cool attitude to everything, there is a maximum chances of going wrong. Okay, but then though they are people, I mean I don't know, वो कहते नहीं है वो फिल्मों में भी rebel without a cause. So like उनको हर चीज में बस कुछ करना है कि नहीं आई एम कूल तो मैं कुछ भी पहन लूंगा, नहीं आई एम कूल तो मैं कुछ भी कर लूंगा. मत करो. Stick to the signature line. I'm not saying कि
I definitely, I want to go with this idea of yours. A lot of this generation especially feels, I mean, there's nothing against anyone, but I do feel that, just a thought comes out to them, I just want to look cool. This is how I feel.
But
So
they are
this is what
not
I want
cool.
to
The
create.
point is, I'll tell you.
And it looks funny.
No, they are not cool.
To me, it looks
no,
funny.
They are not cool also because I'll tell you what I feel. I might be wrong. The cool person never knows he's cool. Okay, that's why he's cool.
Okay.
If you act cool, you're not cool.
Right.
The coolness
It's something
comes-
natural. It's an instinct.
It's just it has to come naturally. Because if you're acting to like I'm acting cool, so I'm acting. No, I'm not cool. मेरे ऊपर वो pressure रहेगा. That I have to act a certain
You have to
way.
portray like that.
Exactly. You say that no, I'm like this. No, those people they do it just to grab attention. Then they talk.
When you say grab attention, there are few social media celebrities who come to my mind, which is like recently very much in the news most of the time. I feel he's also one of them who's always in a gimmick.
Yeah.
Who always
Always.
always. And I don't know why.
You talk stupid in front of camera for what? where people see. I mean, you must have seen most of the viral videos or most of the talk about videos are either about abusing language or about making fun of someone's sexuality or making some fun of something.
Sure.
They do it intentionally because they know कि उनके core content में कोई दम ही नहीं है. So what's the best way to get some highlights or get some attention? गाली दो या गंदी बात या कुछ अतरंगी बोल दो या कुछ जब कूल बनने के लिए कुछ फटा पहन लो, पुराना पहन लो. क्यों पहन लो? कपड़े क्यों बने हैं? कपड़े इसलिए बने हैं ना कि आप सही जगह पे सही कपड़े पहन करके खूबसूरत दिखो. तो करो, कितना मुश्किल है. और इतने ही कूल हो और इतने ही अपने आप को नेचुरल दिखाने की कोशिश करते हो तो वो अपनी सुबह सुबह वाली शक्ल दिखा दो ना फिर विदाउट मेकअप वाली, तब तो तुम्हें प्रॉब्लम आनी शुरू हो जाएगी. तो ये लिमिटेड कूल कैसे होता है? सिलेक्टिव कूल की अच्छा इसमें मैं कूल हूँ, इसमें मैं कूल नहीं हूँ. तो कोई कूल वूल नहीं हो, तुम सब बेवकूफ बना रहे हो.
That's true. What you've said is actually true if people understand between the lines.
Look, being in your comfort zone is one
Is
thing.
one
I
thing,
like.
yeah.
Okay, I understand that you want to dress up in a certain way. There's nothing wrong in it. If you're a little particular about me being a designer, I'm saying if you're a little particular about a certain fabric that you don't want to wear a synthetic fabric, you don't want to wear a certain kind of fabric, that's your choice.
That's a choice, yeah.
Okay. Then again comes which is a very important factor like the skin show. Again, it's a personal choice that there are people who are comfortable with little revealing clothes or let's say a little more bold clothes. But there has to be a certain limit to it also.
Yeah.
You can't just wear cheap, vulgar clothes in the name of women empowerment and in the name of fashion and in the name of being different. I mean, come on. It's very clear, it's very evident that you're just doing it for attention, for media and for whatever social media likes and comments.
So don't you think that we as people, we also want to see such things? Why? Because we like to watch that, something which is not otherwise talked about, but if it is there on the social media, then people say, yeah, we were just waiting for this kind of news to get a highlight.
That's how they're surviving.
Yeah.
That's the whole, they're surviving.
We also give attention, that's why it goes viral.
Of course we do.
Yeah.
Like, why do any business work survives? Like, porn industry survives because people watch porn. If people stop watching porn, they will stop making porn. It's very simple.
Similarly, the gimmicks that people
Exactly.
play,
You stop watching it because views comes now.
That's true.
So if you are viewing it, I mean, you might have a different answer. I might have a different answer. मैं तो ऐसे टाइम पास में देख रहा था. तो जाने में हम इसे प्रमोट कर रहे हैं ना.
Correct. No, that's true. And
तो yes, we are not directly responsible for it. Yes, we are not a part of it. But deep down somewhere, we are all part of it. A lot of people criticize Big Boss.
So social media is selling like hotcakes. We all know that why usually people are.
Yeah,
of course, I'll say in a positive way also, people get to know about the trends, people get to know what's running, people get to know that what fashion is like. Some create their own trends, some follow the trends, some have a knack of, already being there and they know they're doing the best. So, but social media is selling, however.
Look, after internet, everything is available in terms of news, in terms of fashion, in terms of information. What information you want for yourself and what information you want for your kids, you are only responsible for it. You can't decide whatever is happening on social media or over internet or whatever. What you can do best is control your views and maximize your kids' views and whatever.
That's true. Yeah.
ये सिर्फ आप कंट्रोल कर सकते हो. उसके अलावा इंटरनेट पे क्या हो रहा है या सोशल मीडिया पे क्या हो रहा है, इंस्टाग्राम पे क्या हो रहा है, फेसबुक पे क्या हो रहा है, you can't stop anyone. And I'm not saying वो सही है या गलत है. I mean, गलत, yes, if you see from the society protocol standards, like the old world society, of course वो गलत है. Like they're giving a wrong message to the kids, to the youth who get easily influenced by everything they see on social media. So let's say a young girl who is 16, 17-year-old who is struggling with her career or who is struggling how to be famous, and all of a sudden, again I don't want to name anyone, a certain celeb wearing the most stupid clothes or the most vulgar clothes, and she all becomes only talked about celeb, and then somehow she managed to get a song or a movie or some reality show. Of course, that young girl will get inspired by that shitty celeb. I mean, we try कि ऐसा ना हो.
So if you're a celebrity, then please make sure that you're setting the right standard. So because
That's-
you're influential and people are watching you.
That's the. So what you influencing is your first job as a person, as a human, as a part of the civil society.
Like what you're talking about and what
What
you
you're
share.
basically what you're influencing.
Yeah.
You're influencing whom and what.
Yeah.
If you're influencing nudity, if you're influencing whatever partying or XYZ, which is not the ideal way to live as per a lot of people. There's no right way or wrong way of living. To each his own, to each her own. But yes, कुछ चीजें क्लियर कट दिखती हैं कि हाँ ये गलत है. अब जबरदस्ती बहस करने के लिए करना है तो तुम हर चीज को माई बॉडी माई रूल्स ये वो बोल करके आगे निकल जाओ, तो वो तो यार वो हर चीज में है. बट एक आइडियल सिनेरियो में आई वांट माय नीस एंड नेफ्यू कि वो पढ़े, एक अच्छी जिंदगी जिए, वो पढ़ लिख करके कुछ अच्छा करें. यस आई नो कि पिछले 10 साल में बहुत सारे दूसरे करियर अपॉर्चुनिटी आ रखी हैं. आज से 10 साल पहले शायद वो नहीं थी. बी सोशल मीडिया इन्फ्लुएंसर और बी अ क्रिएटिव पर्सन इन टर्म्स ऑफ अ कैमरामैन, इन टर्म्स ऑफ अ लाइट पर्सन, और द पॉडकास्ट रिसेंटली नाउअडेज. यस ठीक है, यू कैन मेक मनी आउट ऑफ इट. बट आप उसको बेसिक ट्रेनिंग का तो हिस्सा नहीं रख सकते हो ना. बेसिक ट्रेनिंग तो अभी भी वही रहेगी ना कि आप स्कूल जाओगे, ठीक है.
Of course, education you have to take.
Yeah, so you have to have the
So
basic
degree have
education.
to be.
And everybody says कि नहीं पढ़ाई से कुछ नहीं होता. कैसे नहीं होता?
Oh,
Of course, there are a lot of people कि no, you know, it's unnecessary. Life में कभी वो sin theta, tan theta तो काम ही नहीं आया. अरे काम आया. तुम्हें नहीं पता डायरेक्टली कैसे काम आया. तुम ये बोल पा रहे हो, वो भी तुम्हें पढ़ाई से आया है.
No, education is a very strong
तुम पढ़ाई को क्रिटिसाइज कर रहे हो ना, वो भी पढ़ने से ही आया है. नहीं तो तुम्हारे पास क्रिटिसाइज करने की भी दिमाग नहीं होती.
No, I don't think anybody should.
So, if you can afford a good education, you should always have a good education. You give it to your kids. Yes, after a certain time, maybe after 12th or something. Yes, they should be open about choosing the right career. But as a parent or as an elder, हमेशा हम उन्हें गाइड करेंगे. इसमें क्या रॉकेट साइंस है?
No, I always tell my daughters that you may pursue anything that you like, your creativity wherever it lies. But please understand that you have to be educated because it takes you to places. Whether you want to be a fashion designer, you want to be a judge,
maybe you're just a housemaker. But you choose to sit at home and raise your kids in the right way. So you need to be little educated.
Otherwise, how will you pass it on?
Exactly. तुम्हें उनकी किताब समझ में नहीं आएगी, तुम्हें उनका सिलेबस समझ में नहीं आएगा, तुम्हें उनकी स्कूल की टाइमिंग समझ में नहीं आएगी. So you will be an alien, then you will like my kids don't relate to me. Of course they won't relate to you क्योंकि तुम डम हो. So the problem with modern world is कि now everybody has an opinion about something. ठीक है. अब raising the kid right, ये तो endless debate है ना. अभी नए जमाने में है कि बच्चे को मार नहीं सकते हो, बच्चे को ये नहीं कर सकते, बच्चे को वो नहीं कर सकते. हमारे जमाने में हम मस्त पिटे हैं अपने माँ बाप से. कोई मुझे चाइल्डहुड ट्रॉमा नहीं है अपने पिताजी से मार खाने का, या मेरी मम्मी ने मुझे चप्पल से मारा हुआ. कोई ट्रॉमा नहीं है मेरा. आई लव माय मॉम लाइक एनीथिंग. मारे बचपन में, मारा हरकत की, मार खाए, आगे बढ़ गए. सिंपल. नए जमाने में नई नई चीजें. यू शुड बी फ्रेंड्स विद योर किड्स, यू शुड डू दिस. क्यों फ्रेंड्स होना है? योर किड कैन बी जस्ट योर किड. कितना मुश्किल है. You do your job right as a parent. Let them do their job as the kid. उन्हें basic पढ़ाई दो, physical activities में involved रखो, whatever. Just do your part.
Yeah, so there are new lines and names also. Like people start saying very old school thought, but I still respect that old school.
Old school thought is the only thought. Trust me. The new thought will just kill the society. And I'm very open about it. Let people criticize me or whatever. Old school is the only school. बाकी कुछ नहीं है. सब फ्रॉडबाजी है इंटरनेट की और सोशल मीडिया की. हर चीज में बेजबानी. कोई ये खा नहीं सकते, ये पी नहीं सकते, मोटे को मोटा नहीं बोलो, पतले को पतला नहीं बोलो. नहीं तो बदसूरत हो तो हो. अरे मैंने नहीं बनाया वो स्टैंडर्ड. किसी स्टैंडर्ड से बना है. अगर कि कोई लंबा है तो लंबा है. लंबा कैसे होता है? एक एवरेज हाइट होती है. कोई 5'1", कोई 5'2", कोई 6'2", कोई 6'3". ठीक है. उसमें जो 6'1" होगा तो ही इज नॉट एवरेज, ही इज अबव एवरेज. दैट मींस कि वो लंबा है. दैट्स द टर्म वी कॉल इट. कोई छोटा है तो छोटा है, कोई गोरा है तो गोरा है. नहीं, इसका फन मत करो, बॉडी शेमिंग मत करो. ये क्यों नहीं करो बॉडी शेमिंग? ऑफ कोर्स करो बॉडी शेमिंग. तो अब फिर उसमें इमोशनल एंगल डाल देंगे लोग कि you don't know what she has been through, you don't know what he has been through. I understand.
Sometimes you find a little bit frivolous also.
If I understand, if she
overdoing it
look,
is frivolous.
if she has been through, it's fine.
Yeah.
हर चीज को ओवरडू करना है. अरे ब्रो, जिम बना है ना दुनिया में, डाइट बनी है. मेरी सबसे परफेक्ट बॉडी नहीं है एज अ मेल स्टैंडर्ड, तो मैं ये चुपचाप एक्सेप्ट करूंगा, उसके लिए कुछ करने की कोशिश करूंगा. एवरीवन इज ब्यूटीफुल इन इट्स ओन वे, एवरीवन इज ब्यूटी इन इट्स ओन. अरे नहीं है, ब्यूटी का एक स्टैंडर्ड बना रखा है किसी
ने. So this comes on the ramp also, like
of course it does.
when you are designing clothes.
Of course रोज आता है. Why can't I be around ramp model?
So tell me, there is again a shift. Like people have started putting up models who wear clothes for medium size, who wear clothes for large size.
My point is, as a brand, you can have your policy. ठीक है.
Yeah. What's your thought on that?
My thought is very clear that the garment looks the best on a tall, pretty girl. कोई debate ही नहीं है इसमें.
Okay.
और जो tall, pretty girl.
And that's how you would also prefer your garments.
Of course. ठीक है, मेरे real bias कोई और है, but real bias कब inspired होते हैं? When they see the best form. So when they see a certain celeb or when they see a certain model wearing it and it looks the best because she's tall, she's slim. So my garment looks the best possible. Right. In that particular frame.
I agree.
That's how people get attracted to it, right?
Yeah, the first point of attraction is this only when something looks beautiful aesthetically, worn in a manner that is appealing.
किसी भी चीज को सबसे पहले आंख देख के पसंद करती है. यही रूल है किसी भी चीज का. तो जो चीज आंखों को अच्छी ही नहीं लगेगी, तुम चुपचाप आगे बढ़ जाओगे ना, फिर तो कोई सेकंड थॉट ही नहीं आएगा किसी चीज का.
Most people would do that.
Yes, most of the time. Look, for a garment, this is something. It's not something very deep. इसकी कोई डीप मीनिंग नहीं है. वेरी सिंपल. देख के अच्छा लग रहा है, पैसा खर्च करके खरीद लेना है, मुझे भी अच्छा दिखना है. इसके पीछे कोई बहुत बड़ा थॉट प्रोसेस या कोई इमोशनल देयर इज नथिंग. ठीक है. तो अब पीपल ब्लेम इट लाइक तुम लोग बहुत शैलो हो, दिस और दैट. अरे क्या शैलो हो, मुझे समझ में नहीं आता. एंड
शैलो इन व्हाट टर्म?
एग्जैक्टली. बस बोलना है कुछ कि तुम तो मॉडल्स को टॉर्चर करते हो स्किनी होने के लिए. भाई हम कोई टॉर्चर नहीं करते.
It's the model's choice also.
Yeah, of course. Your profession is your choice now.
Criteria.
And they are very much happy doing it.
Okay.
उन्हें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है इस चीज से. उन्हें, if you ask any of the models, I feel उन्हें इस बात से प्रॉब्लम उन्हें इस बात से प्रॉब्लम होगी कि अननेसेसरी जो ये नई डिबेट शुरू हो चुकी है कि एनी साइज और प्लस साइज और दिस साइज और दैट. नहीं भाई, they are working for it. They wanted to be a model. They trained themselves in a certain way.
I think they would have a problem that all of a sudden now this is shifting. We have trained ourselves. We have put in so much of hard work. Our bodies are good to look at when we wear a garment and we want to walk the ramp.
And they stand apart from the ordinary crowd.
Yeah.
That's their talent. They stand apart. Like let's say 10 girls are standing and there's one who's a professional ramp model. तुम देख के बता दोगे.
Absolutely.
And she feels nice and proud about it. Unnecessary हर चीज को complicate मत करो. She owns it. वो अपनी मर्जी से जिम जाती है, अपने डाइट कंट्रोल करती है, because she wants to look the best on the ramp, off the ramp, in everyday life. Fitness is a lifestyle choice.
So it's not mostly the designers imposing that kind of thought on them. They love it.
Of course we do. तो बहुत basic सा fact है. Like I design gowns. A gown will always look nice on a tall girl. Yes. That's not the only guarantee. Anybody can wear it with confidence. Anybody can wear it if they want to. But let's not debate कि किस पर best लग रहा है, best नहीं लग रहा है. You can just have a simple approach that मुझे पहनना है, मैं पहनूंगी. I'm confident about it.
And whoever is buying it, of course, it can be customized according to the person.
Look for any clothes or any choice in life. Confidence is the key. If you're confident about anything, you will look nice, you will look attractive in your own certain way. But let's not debate as a profession. आप क्या पहनते हो, नहीं पहनते हो, वो आपकी चॉइस हो सकती है. आप कैसे दिख रहे हो, वो तो मेरा ओपिनियन होगा ना भाई.
Because you are designing the garment.
Not just as a designer, as a layman also. आप सुंदर लग रही हो, नहीं लग रही हो, ये तो मैं डिसाइड करूंगा अपने हिसाब से. मतलब जो मेरा ओपिनियन है, हो सकता है मैं गलत हूँ, मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा कि मैं ही सही हूँ, पर मुझे आप सुंदर नहीं लगी. नए जमाने में लोग थोप रहे हैं कि नहीं वो सुंदर है, तुम्हें नहीं दिख रहा है. अरे मुझे नहीं दिख रहा है, ठीक है, मैंने मान लिया मुझे नहीं दिख रहा है. नहीं हूं मैं शायद इतना डीप बंदा कि मैं हर चीज की एकदम स्टोरी देखूं और बैकग्राउंड देखूं.
Basically everything should not be imposed.
Exactly. हर चीज, everything is getting. Look, the problem with people nowadays, what I feel, वो हर चीज को बहुत सीरियसली लेने लगे हैं, without even taking it so much seriously. Like when you look at some nice girl, oh wow, she's so pretty. And imagine someone is saying, how can you say she's pretty? Maybe she has a bad soul. She might have a bad soul, but she's pretty. I just said a very normal thing. Yeah, if you see someone who's like, oh, those heels are not looking nice, you don't know what she has been through in buying those heels. Her mom worked for 3 years.
There is a story behind it.
क्यों हर चीज को इतना इमोशनल कर रहे हो? मतलब इंसान बात ही नहीं कर पाएगा.
मतलब general comment भी
Exactly.
एक story बनी.
If you start criticizing, questioning everything, फिर तो दो लोग बात भी नहीं कर पाओगे ना आपस में.
That's true. So again coming back to emerging trends, setting trends in the Indian fashion industry and of course in general designing line, how do you see the near future to emerge as in fashion design?
Look, as an individual, I don't really care.
Let's not go too far, like very near.
Look, as an individual, just me, I'm talking about myself. I don't care much about the future in terms of like. I just believe in one thing: if I'm making decent clothes in a decent pricing, and if I'm serving my clients right, and if I'm serving the needs what they're looking for, I'll be good.
By the way,
But-
I still have a memory of wearing your first time when I wore your gown.
I remember.
Which was.
You were doing some shoot for a magazine shoot,
For a magazine shoot. Why? Because I'm also somewhere inclined to
To be really honest, I mean, that came as a very good surprise for me because I was called by someone that some influencer is coming to collect the gown, and I was not really expecting such a nice, pretty, tall lady in front of me. I was expecting some. Whatever, like, let's not get into controversy.
No, absolutely. But I really liked the outfit, honestly. I
Thanks
loved
a
the
lot.
design and I felt that it was something which anybody could wear.
That's the whole idea, to be honest.
Yeah.
I make.
It was not just for me, but whosoever.
Look, whenever I design my clothes and whenever I put it on the mannequin, like during the whole structure at all, I see where all we can make it a little bold. Not bold, as in like where we can make it a little more sensual. Be it in terms of slit, be it in terms of neckline or whatever. But then, back of my mind, I always feel that it should be wearable in a comfortable way.
Of course.
And
Comfort is there
look,
always.
to be very honest, my target client is mostly Delhi, Bombay, and those metro city girls.
Right.
Okay, so and they are my friends, and I've been a part of the whole social group and everything. So I know the amount of skin show they can do comfortably in terms of a family gathering or a birthday party. So I always keep that in mind that I'm making clothes to sell to my clients. So I have to keep a track of everything in terms of costing, in terms of colors, in terms of skin
Yeah,
show.
because as a layman, they talk about it.
Yeah, of course.
They go for a particular fashion show and then they say amongst each other, then they say, tell me how much can we wear this every day?
Exactly.
How much and where can we wear this? Maybe
Yeah.
once or twice. And you know how women are. They don't like to repeat too many outfits.
Bro, for a clothing line or for any garment, the word wear will always come. If you're wearing this nice, beautiful outfit,
Yeah.
you must have had something in your mind where I will wear it.
Yeah.
So even when I shop for myself, so I'll see now where I will wear it.
course,
If I'm buying a t-shirt, a round neck t-shirt, I know I'll wear it on daily basis. If I'm buying a certain linen pant, so I will know I will wear it there. If I'm buying a tuxedo, I know that I'm not buying a tuxedo to wear it next day in the office.
Right.
Nobody wears
I mean, your
tuxedo.
wardrobe definitely
Yeah.
plays according to the functions and
So
events.
wear वाला part तो आप कभी deny नहीं कर सकते ना in terms of shopping or in terms of clothes or designing. तो वो तो wear वाला factor तो आपको हमेशा cover करना है.
That's true.
Yeah.
So now if you talk about craftsmanship element, so how would you balance it with the traditional Indian designs and the modernity which has come into play with it?
Look, since I design evening gowns and cocktail evening dresses and all, so मेरा वो traditional वाला मतलब मेरे ऊपर उतना वो pressure है नहीं, to be honest.
You spoke about it.
Yeah, I don't have to keep that sensibility in my mind because mine is so-called, in layman's language, Western wear. So, gown is mostly, let's say, Western wear or whatever, evening wear.
Yeah.
So, मेरे ऊपर, luckily, I don't have the pressure of keeping the traditional thing in my mind when I'm designing the clothes. But yes, I have to keep a track of the right kind of fabric use because in India, 8 months is almost summers.
Yeah.
So you have to pick the right kind of fabric, then the right kind of pricing. So when we are doing the craftsmanship, what you call is like hand embroidery or the machine work. So everything requires time and time requires money, right?
Sure.
So while designing the whole outfit, I have to have that thing in my mind, not even back of my mind, in my mind, that if I'm designing something, the costing will come a certain amount.
Of course.
Then
It revolves
when and where I will be able to sell it for, whom I will be able to sell it for, and would that my clientele in general would be interested in buying something of a certain price tag from me. So you have to keep a track of everything. People say कि इसका बिजनेस नहीं चला, उसका बिजनेस नहीं चला. नहीं चलने का कई बार ये एक रीजन ये होता है कि क्रिएटिव लोगों के साथ ये थोड़ी प्रॉब्लम होती है कि वो बहुत इमोशनल हो जाते हैं चीज़ों को लेकर के विदाउट रियलाइजिंग द अदर फैक्टर्स which helps in business. Where you are sitting, where is your store, who are all your clientele, what's the kind of pocket they have.
But it matters.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
Everything matters.
It does, yeah.
Like if I'm having a chai tapri at a tapri, I'll pay 10 bucks, 20 bucks, maybe 50 bucks for a good tea. I won't be expecting the same price in a 5-star because in a 5-star you're paying for the whole feel, not just the chai.
Yeah, the hospitality.
Everything is involved, no? The infrastructure cost, the staff cost,
Right, where you're sitting,
the rentals, everything. Unnecessary तुम फिर वही वाली बात है, creative बंदे हो करके बोलो मुझे ये सब समझ में नहीं आता है, कैसे नहीं समझ में आता है? You have to. Ultimately, everything is business. Yes, creativity is a part of it, that we are creating something. But we are creating something for what? For selling it. So when you are selling something and the whole idea of the producing it is to sell, you have to keep a track of everything. Otherwise, तुम सिर्फ बनाओ और घर में टांग कर रखो. Then nobody is asking you anything.
Yeah. No, you know, you've already shared a lot of candid things which I think you would best fit in because as a person you are known for your candid thoughts also and you don't really, you know, think too much before giving it as an answer. So I'm sure you deal with all sort of clients and there are people from all walks of life. There has been any client with whom you had a maybe, I'll not say exactly a controversy, but whose thought process runs different from you. She says this particular thing looks much better. You say, okay, I've created it like that. And now that you told me that this is how the design has to go, an unexpected thing occurs. How do you deal with that kind of request of the client?
Look, to be really honest, it happened minimum once in a month.
Okay.
Minimum on
Really?
average. Because no, I'll tell you the reason. The reason is like when we design our ramp clothes, we don't have much restriction in terms of durability factor because the model can wear and carry anything.
Right.
But then looking at the same garment, if a certain client walks in and she wants to wear it for a cocktail or for an engagement or for a reception, I have to make it more wearable as per the Indian standard.
Right.
Like in terms of the neckline or in terms of the slit and all. And what happens is like when you know that a garment looks nice in a certain way, maybe there's nothing much in the garment, it's only looking nice because of a certain reason. That reason might be just the neckline, that reason might be just the length of the right length of the slit. And the client is not wrong or difficult, they just wants to make it more wearable. And me being the designer, I know that if I will compromise on this, the garment won't turn out the same way because I can visualize the end product and the end product won't be that interesting.
And of course you would want if somebody is carrying
and then money is involved.
Yeah.
They are paying a good amount of money for that to look their best on that day.
No, and plus they're wearing your designs. Of course, you have talked about
Exactly.
it in any part.
And also you know that somehow if you will compromise on those things, the end product won't be that attractive for sure. But then it's a business, so we try and meet somewhere in between. Because it's also not again about the client. It's just they dress up in a certain way in a family gathering.
Right.
So you can't ignore the fact, no, कि वहाँ पे पेरी पोना भी होगा and ताऊजी भी होंगे and बुआ जी भी होंगी. So ये थोड़ी problem as a creative person हमें आती है. But ठीक है, that's how it works.
That's true. So, you know, last but not the least, I want you to tell me something for the budding, young, aspiring designers who are looking to make a brand value. What is that one advice you would want to give them?
creativity is good, but also keep the business angle in mind always.
Always.
If you
I
want to
think that's the
survive
best
here,
thing,
yes, always. It's good that you're creative, it's good that you're smart, whatever. But then, if you don't know how to business, don't come here. Because
Don't come for
ultimately,
the sake of it.
look, ultimately तुम्हें business ही करना है.
Hmm.
Ultimately, look, really, I mean, everything sounds very fancy from outside and fashion.
It does look fancy.
Look,
yeah. And
fashion,
it's a very
whatever.
fashion-driven thing.
But ultimately, तो हम कपड़े ही बेच रहे हैं ना यार.
But that's your selling point, like because your designs are.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Look, like I said, that okay, the fashion week and the cover shoots and the magazine shoot, these are all very fancy things. But the real money comes from where? By selling it to the clients, आम जनता of India.
Yeah.
तो वो बिजनेस ही है, हार्डकोर धंधा है ना कपड़ा बेचना हमारा. अगर वो नहीं आता है तो फिर मत करो, सिंपल है. फिर तुम लॉस खाओगे, सिंपल सी बात है. फिर बंद करना पड़ेगा काम. सिंपल है, इसमें कोई बहुत आई मीन कहना ब्रूटली बहुत लोग अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते हैं, बट लाइक यू सेड दैट आई एम फेमस फॉर इट. इट्स वेरी सिंपल. अल्टीमेटली तो बिजनेस करना है ना ब्रो. बिजनेस नहीं कर सकते मत करो. ठीक है, तुम बहुत क्रिएटिव हो, व्हाटएवर, सब मान लिया, अच्छी बात है, वेरी गुड. बट उसको बिजनेस में भी कन्वर्ट करना है. An idea is only good if you can execute it and turn it into a business venture. Otherwise, ठीक है, बहुत लोग बहुत क्रिएटिव हैं अपने दिमाग में, पर उसकी एग्जीक्यूशन और बिजनेस कन्वर्जन, that's what plays the most important role now.
Fantastic. I'll be very honest. This podcast has been very gripping for me personally. Very interesting also. And I'm sure the viewers who are going to look us, they would really have a good time watching this because you have given us insightful things not only about the industry, but what goes behind this fashion industry, right? From models to designing to creation to maybe camera, lighting, everything which a layman would not otherwise understand.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the renowned designer Ashwak for you, and I think he's put out everything fabulously. Somebody who's looking to be a fashion designer in this industry must watch this, and of course, all the viewers who follow his design and page. Thank you so much for being here on our show.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks. I would request my viewers to subscribe to this channel, like my podcast, support, so that we can time and again bring you the best guests on the show and for you to be able to understand what we are trying to put there